Welcome to the Bromley Adult Education College Digital Drop-In Podcast, getting you back to work with confidence.
Hello, I'm Jill Collier and welcome to episode 14 of the Digital Drop-In Podcast. Today I'm delighted to be joined by Mia Waller. Hello Mia.
Hello Jill.
Mia is coming to talk to us about various things today. Mia has had a varied career, including translating data for a leading betting company. This involved working to deadlines, making sure that the day's information was accurately translated and uploaded to their website. She then moved on to working in a commercial and domestic property market in central London. But her most important job was yet to come, and that was being a mummy to her two very special children. But they are growing up now, and she's looking to resume her career. So Mia, what sort of work are you looking for?
Well, Jill, I think most suitable job for me is in admin, because all my life I've been doing admin. But I wish that I can get a job that I can progress, because I feel over the time I never progressed into a job. And I would love to look into bookkeeping and do maybe another course and slowly progress and not just being stuck into admin. Right.
And when you say admin, is there any particular field of admin? Is there anything you're particularly interested in, or your big guide is going to be the school hours?
Ideally, will be working in a school, so it gives me time to go to work, drop the kids to school and pick them up. So ideally it will be a 4 hours work, like 4 hours time.
So you're like looking for sort of part-time
job. That will be ideal. But if I find something else, then I guess me and husband can work out and still go for it.
Yes.
But I am very limited for what I can do because of the kids being at school and my husband working as well.
Yes, I mean, I think, like me, you've been lucky enough to experience working in London for many years.
I did, yeah.
And there's a certain vibe there that you don't get anywhere else, do you? So I think we both can understand that. But this is a different time in your life. You've been there, done that, got the T-shirt.
Yes.
And now is time to look for something that will fit in with your children. And you know, it's just a case of finding. I mean, these jobs are quite tricky to find because there's many mummies out there.
They want the same job.
They want the same job, yes. I mean, obviously schools is a good place to target. And I know you're moving out of the borough now, but I'm sure the borough you're in is moving to will have a similar option. But on the London Borough of Bromley website, there is a sort of jobs available part on the website, and you can drill down in there. There's often a lot of school jobs on there, but obviously some of them are for teaching, but they do have TAs come up, or you know, any job that is within the school goes through the London Borough of Bromley website.
Yes, so I'm on the website already.
Yes.
I've been looking a lot.
Oh, have you already? Where you're moving to?
No, I've been looking in this area.
Oh, I see, yes.
Because the kids are still going to the same school.
Of course, yes. So you do want to stay up here.
Yes. I have applied for 2 jobs, so unfortunately I didn't get them. But no, I'm not going to give up. I will keep looking, and eventually I will get something.
You will, because if, you know, both you're very confident about that, and also the more jobs you apply for, the easier it
will
gets.
Yeah.
And you I mean, I've always said looking for a job is a full-time job, because to complete these application forms properly, to convey the right information, is not a 2-minute job. It can be quite a long process. But the more you do it, the more you get used to it, and then it does become a little bit quicker and slicker. So for your job, you've very bravely decided to share with us your feelings of anxiety and panic attacks, which is something that is an extremely brave thing to discuss. But sadly, so many of us go through it. As I say, I think probably more people do suffer with panic attacks over something now than don't. And it is beginning to be spoken about, but probably not enough, which is why I'm so happy for you to want to share your feelings. So can you tell me a little bit about how they started, or how you can feel a panic attack coming on?
So it started 4 years ago. I was working part-time at a recruitment company, and even when I was going to work, I felt like different emotions, and I started to feel a bit anxious when people approached me to talk, and I felt that's weird, never happened to me. And
as in people that you worked with,
even people I knew
or
for
not
years,
strangers?
People I used to work with. Just out of the blue, I will just get a very strange sensation in my body, and I was wondering what was that. But after I gave up the work, the anxiety started to be stronger, and from anxiety it turned to panic attacks. And this is when I decided to go to talk with my doctor to see what's going on. Straight
Can you
away,
explain what a panic attack feels like for you? I know it's a very, very different for everybody, but
so when you start to be very anxious, you get lots of thoughts into your head, and your body literally can't cope with it. So I started to have a really hot sensation on my spine.
right.
My mouth started to get very dry, and I felt like I'm gonna pass out. I couldn't eat. I was very unsettled. So this was very new for me.
Yes.
And
how long does, I know it might be a difficult question, but roughly how long could a panic attack last? Would it be 10 minutes, an hour?
at the beginning, even up to 15 minutes, a very long period of time, and I didn't know how to cope with it. But because you don't know what it is, after 15 minutes, you have a little break, and then it goes back into panic attacks, and it goes like panic attack after panic attack after panic attack, and I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat. It was just horrible times.
So sorry, I did interrupt you there. You were about to say, I think, that you went to the doctors.
I did go to the doctors. I was worried to go because looking after two kids and having anxiety and panic attacks, I thought I'm going to be locked away because I won't be able to look after my kids. But surprisingly, when I talked to my doctor, she said that this is very common for parents, and straight away they put me on medication.
Right.
It took a bit of time for the medication to kick in, but then slowly I started to feel a bit more comfortable with myself. This is when I decided that I wanted to exercise, do a bit of meditation. I mean, there's so much help out there.
That's good to know.
Yes.
So your
yoga.
GP was understanding.
Yeah, very. It made me feel a bit more relaxed about it because I
Yes.
thought I'm not alone, and a lot of people going through this. And surprisingly, after I started to talk about all this sensation, a lots of mums started to say they feel exactly the same thing. So
Yes.
to be honest, I felt like I'm not alone, even though in my head I felt like, what am I doing wrong? Or
No, you're
I'm
definitely not alone, Mia. But that doesn't help always when you're feeling like that, does it? So
it's very hard. I know
Yes.
lots of people that tell you, just be stronger, just don't go on medication because you're going to be dependent on it. But it's just so hard
Yes.
to deal with it. If you haven't experienced it, it's something else. It's just like so hard, very, very hard.
I mean, we discussed this earlier, that it is something that isn't talked about as much as it should, and I think probably everybody's experiences are slightly different. How our body copes in this fight or flight mode is going to be different for everybody, but you know, I think the dryness of the mouth, it has an impact on your breathing, which is, I guess, the key issue. So some people feel giddy or faint, other people, you know, there's lots of different feelings, and people don't always understand what's going on.
But because there was a new sensation for me, I thought I'm having a heart attack. So I had so much help around straight away. My husband called his mum and sister, and they were with me, and as soon as I was having the sensation, I felt like I need to go to A&E or just call an ambulance. And they're trying to just tell me to understand, like, no, you just need to breathe, just calm down, and this will go. But yeah, because it was something new, honestly, I felt like I'm going to pass out or go die.
Just horrible for you.
Yeah.
So you went to the GP and got medication.
Yeah.
Did they offer you any other services, or did they recommend, or did they sort of, I don't know, sometimes different surgeries have kind of ancillary services. I'm not sure whether they're actually funded by the GP, but there might be kind of counsellors or something.
There is. I think it's called Bromley Talk.
Oh yes.
But it's a very long waiting list. A very long waiting list. I was waiting for 9 months to go and see somebody. But in this time of 9 months, I tried everything in my power to start reducing the tablets. And
did you ever get to Bromley Talk?
I did, but because after 9 months I was in a better place. I had 2 sessions, and they discharged me after 2 sessions because they thought I'm doing exactly what I have to do, exercising, doing yoga, eating well. And
is acupuncture something you did try, or you didn't?
I did try acupuncture as well, because one of my friends recommended to me, and I felt like acupuncture at the beginning really helped. It really calmed me down, and I managed to stop the medication completely with the acupuncture. But then every time I was going out or doing something, I felt like I had to have acupuncture in the morning to cope with it.
Like a bit of a crutch.
So I felt like I was depending again on something, because I felt like I won't cope if I don't have acupuncture. So I got to that stage, and I talked to the lady that she was doing the acupuncture. I said, I'm depending on acupuncture now, and I don't want that. It's not a pleasure anymore. No. I feel like I have to do it, rather than just going to enjoy it and just feel good about it. So this is when I stopped acupuncture, because I felt like it's not helping anymore. But
so you didn't sort of, like you would with medication, you didn't slowly wean yourself off acupuncture, you just stopped cold turkey?
I was doing it quite often. So I was doing like, at the beginning, twice a week, and it's not a very cheap thing to do.
No.
And then I just started to do it once a week. I got to a very good place, and I was doing it once every 3 weeks.
Oh, lovely.
But then with COVID and everything else, I felt like I was getting again very anxious and panicking. But then I decided maybe I need something else than just acupuncture. I was still exercising, I was still running, yoga.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's not an excuse, but I do think COVID set all strange emotions off in all, or most people, in all different ways. And we have just lived through 2 years of uncertainty in so many different ways of our life, whether it's our family, their health, whether it's a job, that then went and you haven't got a job. There's so much uncertainty that I think this will be very pertinent to a lot of people that maybe didn't suffer before, but just the last couple of years. I mean, I like to feel we're on the way out of it now, but it's still going to be in the background of all our thoughts for a long time, isn't it? So so I can understand with somebody with a predisposition, something out of the blue coming, well, we did know this time 2 years ago, but this time 2.5 years ago, if anybody had said we're going to be in a pandemic and there's going to be a lockdown, we would never have believed it, would we?
I was very happy to do the lockdown, because for me it was such an ease that I don't have to socialise, I don't have to go out. So I was very happy indoors in the garden with my kids, doing homework and everything. But then when lockdown eased and I had to see people again, this is when my anxiety started to come back.
And that's very understandable, because suddenly you're being put back into an uncomfortable situation for you.
Yeah, so I was happy to stop the medication completely, but then the first time we went out with some of our very good friends that we know for years and years, this is when I started to panic again. And
this is in a social situation,
and
it's
just
not even...
triggered it again, and again, very strong anxiety, panic attacks after panic attacks, couldn't sleep again. So I tried to do hypnosis.
Oh, hypnosis,
Hypnosis,
right.
yeah.
Yes.
And it did help for... I went there for 2 times, but with the lockdown and everything, she suggested to do it online, but I declined it, and I just decided to go back on the medication, which I felt like such a failure, because I worked so hard not to be on medication anymore, but I had to do it, and it did help, and here I am.
I don't think anybody should feel a failure for going on medication. Medication is there for a reason, and I'm not a doctor, and I would hate to say something medically wrong, but my understanding of medication is that it is just making up the shortfall of what your brain isn't generating at that point. Like a diabetic, needs their insulin to make up the shortfall. There's always, the medication is there for a reason, and thank goodness there is. And we wouldn't quibble about taking other types of medicine. So, this stigma is... I
know, but it's just like how other people see you, because I feel like I was trying to stop the medication more to please other people rather than for myself. It did help me, big time it helped me.
Yes.
But I felt like I'm going to be judged because I'm taking it. I felt like a weakness rather than anything else.
Yes.
But now I'm feeling more comfortable with myself, and I work more for myself rather than please other people.
Well, that's really good news to hear. I mean, that does take me on to what I was kind of going to ask you, which is how is it going now? How you've overcome your anxiety or not, and how you feel about looking for a job again. So that's rather a lot there, but how are you managing it now? How are you feeling, firstly?
So at the moment I'm still on medication, which it helps. I'm working on my confidence. That's why I finished the Microsoft Office course.
Yes.
And that really helped me to boost my confidence. In the past, just thinking about going for an interview, I would just get very anxious and very scared of it. But slowly, I feel like I'm more ready for it.
Good.
I'm still dealing with anxiety and panic attacks, and I noticed that when I'm very tired and there's just too much things going on, this is when it triggers the panic attacks, and I'm just trying to take it slowly. I don't see exercise as a aid anymore. I do it because I enjoy it.
Good.
So yeah, I think I'm ready to go back to work, because I think I'll be more happier with myself.
You've certainly now updated your skills to a very high level. You're a very, very quick learner.
Thank you.
Your work was always completed, well, very speedily, but with huge attention to detail. There's just nothing I could ever pick on your work. It was always, excellent. So
it makes me feel very good.
So no, I think that should give you confidence that you've come to these courses and maybe sort of recapped some things, but then learnt new skills. And I think you should be confident to go out into the workplace. There is if we look at schools, you know, they have bespoke software. If we look at almost any, well, you've worked with the betting agency, it was a bespoke piece of software. You've worked with properties, I'm sure they have a bespoke property management software. So although you may not know every piece of software that will be in this new job, you've got the confidence to know you pick them up very quickly, and you will learn how to work with that, because all software is doing is tailored to the particular company you're in to make life easier for you, not more difficult. You know, so I think you should be confident about getting a job.
Yes, but I think I'm still dealing with anxiety and panic attacks. I'm not as harsh with myself as I used to. I'm just going to take it easy, and the plan is, after we've moved and settled, is to go to do a sort of therapy just to understand more, because I could never accept it. So I need to understand what I'm going through rather than to fix myself.
I think you're absolutely right. I hope you find answers, but I don't think you will find that one kind of magic wand moment. But I think you're quite right to pursue it. Again, my understanding of these things, and it's only third party as to all the people I listen with, interest that talk about it, is the older we get, the better we get at managing our anxiety or whatever, panic attacks, whatever it is. We learn to manage it, and we find the tools in the toolbox that work for us, whether it is CBT or, you know, as you say, hypnotherapy, all of these different things. I'm delighted that so many well-known people discuss it very openly on TV and or in podcasts, whatever it is you listen to. And there does seem that, I know it didn't happen to you when you were very young, but some people have grown up with it all their lives, and our kind of immature brain can be quite angry about it and like, why me? Why am I different? I just want to be like everybody else. And I think with age comes maturity, that hopefully you get to the point where you say, well, this is me, and I now have adequate tools to manage the situation. But it's going to be like a diet or anything. It's going to work most of the time, but we all fall off the wagon, and or I do anyway. And you know, I'm sure it won't be 100%, but I think the more work you can do on yourself, and as you say, you know, just to try, be very open to anything that is out there, and try and understand yourself, and feel comfortable in your own skin, really, isn't it?
Yes.
So I do wish you very well with your move and with taking on this additional therapy. But you know, you could be looking for a job now, Mia. Strike while the iron is hot. You've got all of this knowledge behind you, and you know, and we all know it can take a little bit of a while to be applying for jobs and getting them, and it's just a good experience to keep going through. So
I will do, Jill.
Yeah,
I will.
Well, thank you very much. It was extremely brave of you,
thank you,
to talk about this, and it's the first time of all my podcasts, it's the first time I've dipped my toe into something so personal. So I do hope I haven't said the wrong thing or offended you.
No, absolutely not.
And I truly thank you for being so brave.
Thank you.
All right then. Bye-bye.
Bye.
For help with all your job searching needs, do visit one of our digital drop-in venues. On a Monday, we are open 12:30 to 3:30 p.m. at our Poveris Centre, and on a Tuesday, we are open 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at our Kentwood Centre. In our sessions, we offer free use of computers for job searching, advice on creating a winning CV, plus lots of short training courses to gain skills in the digital world.
This podcast has been produced by Bromley Adult Education College. For full details of how we can support your return to work, visit our website www.baec.ac.uk and search for Digital Drop-In. Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast to receive notifications of new episodes.